Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Wait What We Talking About podcast, episode 199. My name is Bret, aka Enigma9011, and you can catch this podcast live over on twitch.tv/Enigma9011. You drop a follow over there, I'll get notified when we go live, so you join in the fun and conversation with us. But if you can't catch it live, that's A-OK. Go over to YouTube and podcast services. The very next week, it was broken out topic by topic and put as one big video in MP3 for your amusement on the following Friday. Last but not least, any way you can support the show, like, share, subscriptions, comments, whatever it is. It may seem small, but it's helped the channel grow. So if you take the time to do that, we would love and appreciate you for it. Today, we're going to be talking some superheroes. We're going to talk a little bit old school. We're going to talk about new stuff and upcoming. Let's jump on into topic one. We're going to be talking about a little bit of a revisit. Well, not a revisit topic, but a revisit of some movies. We're going to talk about the Amazing Spider-Man movies. The two of them, Andrew Garfield. I had some time chilling, relaxing. I was like, you know what? I want to rewatch these and have some fun with that. And yeah, just kind of want to talk about not a changing of opinions, but just some thoughts after watching it after the release. Obviously, many years ago. Oh boy, maybe I'm getting over the top. So let's see. Amazing Spider-Man 1 came out. Oh, that's 20. Oh boy, that's the second one. Hold on. Amazing Spider-Man 1. Where the hell are you? You initially dropped. Of course, are you not going to tell me? What the fuck? How is it not here? How is it not in the list of like, ooh, this is the movies that... Come on, man. First one was 2012. Thank God. That took way too long. So first one was in 2012. Second one was in 2014. And I do remember enjoying these movies quite a bit when they did come out. Don't get me wrong. There was some stuff that was not the best with it. And that stuff still remains not to be the best about it. But I did enjoy Garfield's portrayal of Peter Parker. I did enjoy Emma Stone's Gwen Stacy quite a bit. And while the villains weren't the strongest, I did enjoy that we were trying some new stuff with a Lizard, with an Electro. We'll get to Goblin, don't worry. There were certain elements that didn't really necessarily hit or resonate, both when they came out and definitely now with this rewatch. So I did enjoy both of them, and I still enjoyed them now. There were certain aspects I just felt like hit differently, or I kind of was like, that wasn't as strong as I remember in terms of the characters. I'm going to start with Peter, start with Garfield's portrayal of him. So I did like a lot of aspects that we did get from Andrew Garfield's performance here. So obviously we're coming off the Tobey Maguire stuff, and maybe I'll do a topic where I revisit those movies. But obviously Tobey had one energy and Andrew Garfield's had a different energy. This one felt like more Peter was the loner, was kind of not, maybe down on his luck sounds like too much, but he's definitely more to himself. He was more that nerdy figure in comparison. But he also seemed like really... I don't know. Something hit with me that felt off. And it was always his interactions with... Maybe it was just because it was Gwen and he was crushing on Gwen. He stuttered a lot and he was very distant from the conversation, it seemed. Like, even when they started dating and were, like, together, he wasn't always there, or he's always, like, this weird whispery, like, tonality with her. And I'm like... This just is weird. I don't know. I felt awkward with the relationship. It didn't feel natural. I don't know how to describe it better. But at points it felt off. And I get it. Obviously with the progression in the films. Obviously the events of the first one with Captain Stacy dying. Leading into the second one with that guilt kind of overhanging him. Of like, oh, I made a promise to your dad not to put you in danger. And I don't want to put you in danger. And then there's the whole... It's like the whole movie where they're like, oh, we're going to be together. No, we're not going to be together. Let's be together. Yeah. And then events happen. There was just at points where I felt uncomfortable with their relationship and how they were interacting with each other. I wish he could have been more confident or more... I don't know, charismatic. I don't know if that's the right word either, but more comfortable in his own skin. It felt like a lot of the times he was very nervous, scared, frightened, anxious. Like, there's definitely times for that, and I think he showed good emotion with, like, obviously his relationship with Aunt May and Uncle Ben, his frustrations about his parents, which we focused a lot, obviously, in this iteration of Spider-Man with, like, who's the mystery of his parents and what happened to them. I wish he could have just been him and not this timid puppy at times. We got a little bit more interaction because I don't think they had it in Tobey Maguire's. If they did, maybe it was just the first movie with was it Joe Maglioga? Oh boy, I'm butchering names. But the Flash thing, Flash Thompson being in there, we obviously got to see that, I believe, more in Amazing Spider-Man 1. I don't think he made a return in 2. I did enjoy those aspects. There was a couple times too, like when Peter first gets his powers, like, you're doing all these incredible things. How is nobody scratching their head here of like, what is going on? But I digress. I did enjoy those, seeing those characters. So story-wise, sorry, I know I'm jumping around. Story-wise, I enjoyed what we did with adding the new elements of, like, the parents, right? Now, granted, I know the very, grassroots comic book stuff, right? I never knew his parents to be anything really super important. Obviously, he's been living with Aunt May and Uncle Ben. That's the whole shtick. But I never knew, or rather questioned or wondered what was going on with his parents. And what we tried to do with these two movies is give a little mystique and mystery to why Peter's been dropped off with Aunt May and Uncle Ben. And I did enjoy that. I wish we got more of it. We did get a glimpse of it and the tension and stuff of that in the first one. And then the second one, we learn a little bit more in the beginning about his dad and what happened to the plane crash and his involvement with Oscorp. But I felt like there was more there that we could still dig into. And I understand it was all about, like, the genetic work that they were trying to do with the animals to try and help out people and their health and stuff. It would have been nice to see more of that, or where it went. Excuse me. So I did enjoy that aspect of the movie. Now, we talked about positives. Let's talk into a negative, just because we're on this thought of the genetic manipulation with the animals and stuff. So I think we started off good. Amazing Spider-Man 1. We got Dr. Kirk Connors. We got the lizard thing where, he's trying to regrow his arm because he's missing that. And the lizard stuff goes wrong, obviously. Or the tests go wrong. He becomes the lizard. Bad guy, right? Makes sense. Cool. We have the explanation of why they're experimenting with spiders. Similar idea. That's why Peter gets his powers. Cool. Then we just kind of forget about that, it seems, in the second movie. Obviously, we have the electric eels for Electro. Okay, I don't know if there was any manipulation with those. Could be wrong. But you know where I'm going here, if you've watched these movies at least. We get to the Sinister Six that we're building up to, right? And the teases were fun. I remember when this initially came out, like being like, oh, there's the octopus, there's Vulture, there's like the all little teases, but they're all mechanical aspects of it. Now, I understand for the real hardcore comics, because I started thinking about this too going into this recording. Well, the Rhino suit was a Rhino suit, and Scorpion's was a suit, and Vulture was an old guy with a green jumpsuit, and, Doc Ock had the robot limbs. All right, that's fine. Touche. Some of it, good. Some of it, not good. Does anybody just say that Rhino suit at the end of Amazing Spider-Man 2 with Paul Giamatti, like the big Robo Rhino, was that good? No, I'm not saying I want him to be like this Craven movie we got coming out with Aaron Taylor Johnson, where the guy's literally, a fucking rhino. I don't know how you do that, like, without looking stupid. You could have done a suit. You could have done the Giamatti suit. That just seemed huge. And then to have it run on all fours, I don't know. Silly, not great. How do you do it? That's open for discussion. I don't know. I can't offer you a good solution here. Be like, oh yeah, this is how you do it. Because I'm just going to be here to bitch and complain, I guess. It was good. It was fun. It was interesting, that tease of Sinister Six. Obviously, history wrote itself here. We didn't get an Amazing Spider-Man 3. We'll never know what their Sinister Six was like. But there were some rough elements there, leading to our friend the Goblin. Now, I will say this. I did enjoy, what's his name? Dane DeHaan. I hope I'm saying that right. I did enjoy his Harry Osborn. When he's moody and, gloomy and all that stuff, his dad just died, he's taking over the business. I did enjoy that. Once he, went through his transformation, I get it. The character looked stupid. The glider was fine. But the rest of it, dumb, right? Other than that, him being Harry, I think he did a very good job with. I don't know what they were thinking with the Goblin. It's that dangerous element of, like, too many villains at once. Granted, they only had 2 main ones. You get the tease of the third at the end, right? They tried to shoehorn him in. And I think that would have been better saved for a later film. Granted, they didn't get to do a later film. But he was just there. He, takes whatever injection it was. He then puts on the armor, pre-made, pre-sized, whatever as well. Gets on the glider, glides over after Peter has finished battling Electro, threatens Gwen, drops her. We have a very short fight in the clock tower. I think he gets knocked out by, like, a gear in that clock tower. Peter tries to make the save. Peter fails. Gwen breaks her neck, snaps her head, whatever the thing is. R.I.P. Sad face. He was there for all of 5 minutes, it felt like. And I don't know why they felt like they needed to just fast track him into that spot. You could have done everything you did with him, I feel, in this movie, where he comes in, there's the corporate greed, people don't want him in there because he's a kid, and then there's the distrust. You could have him learn of his dad's secret projects, special projects, whatever they were. Somehow, either whether it's at Oscorp or it's on a different facility, still do I want to get revenge on... I guess it's tough to say because he needed Peter's blood. Well, he thought he needed Peter's blood in order to survive, or Spider-Man's blood. Without him going and trying out the serum, how do you still get him in the same spot of, like, oh, I'm going to create the 6 and then we're going to go after Spider-Man type thing? I guess you could have done it where you still do everything the same. You still have this corporate thing. Him and Electro, take the facility back. He gets to the area he needs to. Maybe don't inject him right there, or keep that for the post-credits, where, we see him stab himself, inject, and have him do struggle, and then even just do, like, a close-up of the eyes, the classic, what's the term? Trope. Eyes open, it's green, and they do some kind of, like, dilation. You could have just done that, have him laugh, or a laugh while it fades to black, cuts to black rather. You could have done that tease. You didn't have to do... You could have still showed all the Sinister Six stuff in the background to be like, oh, maybe that's a thing. But you could have saved him and not had this waste of 5 minutes. Do you get the moment with Gwen of her passing? Not with the Goblin per se, but if that was your go home, like, that's what we need to do, then Goblin should have been a bigger focus, not Electro. I liked Electro. I liked what Jamie Foxx did. I liked the Electro character because I didn't know much about him, and I appreciated what they did with him. But if that was what the end goal was, we need to get Gwen dead. That sounds awful. Then Goblin should have been their main focus. Don't throw him in 5 minutes to shoehorn a death. Now, granted, you're like, Bret, you're talking about a movie that's almost 10 years old at this point. Holy shit. And they didn't make a follow-up. Why are you bitching about it? I don't know. Just talk. So, there's that. I will say camera work was great in this. The web stuff that they were doing, his mobility, we see obviously a lot of it in the games now from Insomniac. Good stuff there. Obviously, we get the return with No Way Home. Get the little redemption with Garfield. That was good times. I don't know. I kind of wish... There's no way. I know everybody's like, ooh, there's rumors of Amazing Spider-Man 3 now because of how well Far From Home did. It's not going to happen. I know you have the different multiverses, the different timelines. I highly, 99% sure they're never going to do Amazing Spider-Man 3. It's just like one of those, ironically, What If just finished up. It's that what if scenario. You'll never know the answers, but it's fun to talk about and think about these things. Like Amazing Spider-Man 2. They had Felicia Hardy. They had Black Cat in there. Apparently they had MJ Watson. Never saw her on camera, but allegedly she's in there somewhere. Like, there's characters that are hinted at. You'll never know what they were going to do with them or how it would have been done, if they were even going to go the route with certain ones. We had that fun mystery across both movies of... what was his name? I think they gave him a name in the second Amazing Spider-Man, but the first one, he was just in the end credits, and he talks to Lizard. He's got, like, a bowler hat on and all this shit. Like, what was that about? Was that supposed to be Norman? Is Norman actually dead? I don't think it's Norman. I think with the name they gave him in the second one, Andy talks to Harry, so that's stupid why I just said that. Like, what was his deal? What was his shtick in all of this? What was that supposed to be? Questions we'll never have answered, but it's fun to speculate, talk about it, all that jazz, even if it is 10 years later. I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it, just because, like I said, revisiting these movies. Still enjoyed them. Don't know if I enjoyed them as much as I did back in the day, but I definitely enjoyed my time with them. I'd be interested to see if my thoughts have changed on Spider-Man 1, 2, 3 with Tobey. And give those a rewatch. But yeah, each of the Spider-Man actors has done something well with their Spider-Man. Obviously Tobey being the first one and doing a great job of starting this initial superhero movie, at least in the modern age, with like the X-Men as well. That was good. Like I said, Garfield's performance had its ups and downs, and Tom has this nice mixture, I feel, of everything. Also, granted, that could be recency bias. Maybe we jump back a few years and we're like, no, this wasn't the best, but who knows? Yeah, Spider-Man.